strategize? What was your strategy against them? Of course, you are, like you said, not in your terrain. You knew they were relentless. Guys, you on screen, you looked like it was a walk in the park for you guys. It was like an air-conditioned environment for you guys. But how did you strategize against some of our country's best?
I strategized?
Yes, yeah, no, you did.
My strategy when I was going into it was to, first thing I always want to do is I want to get some distance. I need to get some distance between the pursuers and me. Then I need to throw in some anti-tracking tricks. I need to throw in some deception so I can buy some time and I can throw in some confusion. And then I'll start throwing in some booby traps. I'll throw in some more tricks. At the beginning, they don't know where I'm going, and so I'm much more able to throw in deception. As I get closer to the extract, they've figured out where I'm going. And so now, for me to pull any kind of direction change or any kind of tricks, it's probably not going to work as well. So those were my strategies. That's what I was planning on doing. But the jungle was so thick, there was no way I could do that. When I would try to throw any deceptions in, I found out later they figured out every one of them. So it wasn't, the jungle was too thick for my plan. And then towards the end, I had to start using the roads because it was no longer a matter of, it was a matter of speed. I had to get where I was going. You want to stay off roads for obvious reasons. Roads are where people are. But in this case, you know, you can give all kinds of rules, but you got to be prepared to break all of those rules depending on the situation. And this was one of those situations where it turned all of my strategy upside down, and it was a little too much for me to adapt to. I kept expecting the jungle to open up, and it never did.
Okay, and of course, we do have to keep in mind, you had 48 hours before the extraction came, so that also was another major factor. Yes, so you had to rush and take the roads because time was being eaten up.
The time constraints are a big disadvantage in this, because ordinarily, I would want to throw in some deceptions, get a little distance, camouflage myself, and go to ground, because I'm most vulnerable when I'm moving. But because of the distance constraints and the time constraints, I'm forced to move the entire time, and never more so than in this scenario. And if they would have made a mistake, and if I could have lost them or bought more time, I think I could have adjusted. But the lieutenant never gave me the chance. They were kept up the pressure the entire time.
All right. Now, one more last question regarding your tools. Now, we saw that you had a backpack full of gadgets and whatnot. What exactly are you utilizing in your evasive and survival? What are those tools exactly?
Well, I carry some booby trap making materials. I carry a multi-tool usually. I carry some blades, and I carry some gear that's dependent on the environment. In this case, I carried a poncho and a Gore-Tex rain jacket. But what I always carry, as far as an escape and evasion kit, I have 2 different ways to make fire, 2 different ways to purify or carry water, and 2 different ways to snare or acquire food, 2 different ways to navigate, and 2 different ways to signal. So that gives me a redundancy across all of the essentials of survival. But then in this scenario, the manhunt scenario, I don't have time to stop and get food. I don't have time to build a solar still or get any kind of water that takes time. Time is my most valuable commodity. So a lot of times I just tough it out. Like when I drank from that stream.
Yeah.
That was not a smart thing to do.
Yes.
But the reason I did that was that there were only a few hours left in the hunt.
Right.
If I was going to get terribly sick, it was going to be after the hunt was over. And so instead of waiting for the purification tabs to work, I just drank the water, took the risk, and charged right through, because I had to weigh escape and a horrible abdominal disease. And
I love it.
I took the risk. I didn't get sick though.
You calculated when you would have diarrhea. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Not many tourists can do that. All right. Thank you so much for those anecdotes. We really appreciate it. And what was the behind-the-scenes website you mentioned? Where should we catch that? Because sometimes that is some of the best stuff.
It is, but the behind-the-scenes episode and some of the extra clips, I think, is the best stuff. It's hilarious because the difficulty in filming this was off the charts. It's DiscoveryChannelAsia.com. Yeah, DiscoveryChannelAsia.com. You can find lots of clips from behind the scenes on all of the episodes. There were behind the scenes lions in South Africa. There's flying fish attacks in Panama. The stuff that had the heat exhaustion in the Philippines. It just never stopped. It was awesome.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right, of course, we are